Welcome to Coal Nation, the official podcast of the American Coal Council. Join us as we dive into the critical conversations shaping the future of coal. From industry experts to policymakers, we're exploring coal's essential role in America's energy, economy, and global trade. Whether it's powering communities, driving innovation, or securing strong global economies, coal is at the heart of it all. ACC, proud to be American, proud to be coal. Coal Nation starts now.
Welcome to Coal Nation, the podcast where we celebrate the legacy and the future of our coal industry. I'm your host, Steve Reed. Today, we're diving into a conversation that brings together two of Wyoming's biggest passions, football and coal. This weekend, the legendary border war between the University of Wyoming Cowboys and the Colorado State Rams will take on an even deeper meaning as the Cowboys honor the men and women of the coal industry with a special Cowboys and Coal football game. Joining me are two leaders in the coal industry, Travis Deti, Executive Director of the Wyoming Mining Association, and Christian Palich, Vice President of Government Affairs at Eagle Summit Resources. We'll talk about the rivalry, the tradition of the bronze boot, and the opportunity to honor coal miners on a national stage. Let's get started. Welcome, gentlemen.
Great to be here, Steve.
Good morning, Steve.
Well, let's kick things off with the rivalry itself. Travis, you've lived this game for years. What does the border war mean to Wyoming?
Well, the border war is it's our rivalry game, and this game is been played for over 100 years, going way back to the start of the 20th century. And these teams hate each other, and they should, because that's what makes a great rivalry football game. And we play for the bronze boot. It is the border war. And, to be able to use this game that's means so much to Wyoming people and celebrate our coal industry, it's going to be a great weekend.
Awesome. Christian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, really excited. Thanks, Steve, for this game. I think it's going to be fantastic to honor our country's coal miners. Wyoming Cowboys football honoring Wyoming coal miners. It's the largest coal state in the nation. So it was great last year, to have the West Virginia game against Iowa State, where they had the Coal Rush uniforms in the nation's second largest coal states. Our two coal powerhouses in the nation, and a company like ours at Eagle Summit Resources, we have mines in both places. So we get back-to-back years of honoring coal miner games. We're proud our company to be sponsors, and I'm very excited to see the Cowboys play Colorado State. I assume you guys say probably that team down south or something like that, like we do here in Ohio, from Ohio, with our rivalry game. So just really excited for the game. And most importantly, excited to honor people that for so many years, quite frankly, have, felt like they weren't being honored, whether it was from government or political forces or even the public. So to have the University of Wyoming support one of the industries that's built the state, honor those folks. I know our company in Gillette is incredibly excited to be a part of it and have folks attend. So I'm just incredibly excited, Steve and Travis. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as a football fan, I can't wait.
That's awesome. The first thing I thought about, you mentioned the West Virginia game. And when I was looking over the notes and everything for this podcast, the first thing I thought of was the West Virginia game. And it was so cool to see them in the blackout uniforms and everything last year. So, but Travis, let's talk about this whole idea for the Cowboys and Coal, the genesis of the idea, how it came to be, and coming to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. And, the whole concept kind of came into being over a couple of conversations at the state capitol this year during our legislative session with some folks from the governor's office and the athletic department at the University of Wyoming. And we said, hey, would the industry be interested in partnering on this? And of course, we said yes. And, the opportunity to, use one of the most important football games of the year, one of the biggest events in Wyoming, the border war, to showcase our coal industry, to say thank you to all the men and women that work in the industry, and to really recognize, the contribution of the coal industry to the state of Wyoming for ever since we've been a state. You look at our great state seal of the state of Wyoming. You got the miner right there on it. It's one of the reasons why we're here as a state. And, coal built Wyoming. It continues to build Wyoming. And, this Saturday, we're going to celebrate that. And it's going to be a great event.
That's awesome. Christian, maybe you could talk a little bit. You said Eagle is going to be involved, and there's going to be some things that go along with the game. I assume there's going to be tailgating. Maybe talk a little bit about all the things that's going to go along with the game.
Yeah, no, our company's incredibly excited. Our company, Eagle Summit Resources, we have our Eagle Butte and Bel Air mines in Gillette, Wyoming. We're really excited to be sponsored for this game. That day is going to be awesome. I haven't been to a University of Wyoming game yet. This gets to be my first game, which will be the Coal and Cowboys game. So we're really excited about coming out. There's going to be a Coal Village tailgate. It's a rivalry game, so getting experience what Laramie is on that rivalry day. Special thanks to the university for making the Coal and Cowboys game the rivalry game, because as Travis said, and again, he's a Wyoming super fan, so he totally gets it. So, but to get this game to honor our coal miners as a Wyoming company, we couldn't be more excited and proud. And I think it's just gonna be a really fun day. And I mean, ultimately, hope the Coal Rush game in West Virginia last year, at risk of my WVU fan friends yelling at me, they didn't win the game. WVU didn't win. Iowa State beat them. So I hope Wyoming, hopefully they beat Colorado State in their rivalry game, and not only the great tributes we're going to have to the coal miners and the black uniforms, but hopefully it's a victorious black uniform. And at the end of the game, they're in victory formation over the Rams. So that way we can really have an exciting Saturday night in Laramie.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a great party. I might have to work my way up there for that. But so there will be,
Steve.
It will be blackout uniforms, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Awesome.
And, this is something that the University of Wyoming doesn't do very often. It's not a common thing to see the Cowboys play outside of their brown and gold. And I think it's only been done, one time in history, where about a decade ago, they did some camouflage uniforms to honor our military. So the black uniforms are going to be something unique, something special. And, it's going to be exciting. And, Christian kind of mentioned, the Coal Village, where we will have a tailgate for the miners that are coming down. We're going to have over 250 coal miners coming down to Laramie this weekend to watch the game, to be honored, and we're just really looking forward to it. And I would echo Christian. Thanks to the University of Wyoming. The University of Wyoming runs on coal as well, and they know where their bread is buttered. And, for them to say thanks and honor the industry like this, it's really special.
Yeah, that is fantastic. That's, I know they've been a huge partner for the coal industry for a long, long time. So I love to hear that. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on what Travis said too, is like, also as an industry, as a company, a coal company, and this is so exciting because it's a nationally televised game this weekend, right? So not only is it the biggest rivalry, the biggest game in the state of Wyoming, and honestly, the biggest game in northern Colorado, right? For Colorado State, they have a huge fan base as well. To have it be nationally televised and showcase the great things that our industry does for people that might not always see that, what coal does for these communities, they're going to say, wow, a major university is honoring this industry that helped their state. So, Steve, I just wanted to add to what Travis said. I think it's just really great for people across the nation that are going to tune in to say and maybe learn more about what the coal industry means, not just to the state of Wyoming, but what it means to so many states across this country.
Yeah, that's great. So you're going to there'll be quite a few folks coming down from Gillette for the game, I assume.
Yeah, there will be. And, when we were starting with this concept, that was one of the things that we wanted to do. Was to get the men and women that are actually doing the work in the mines every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to provide the coal that powers this country. We wanted to ensure that we got them down there. And so, yeah, we're going to have a pretty good contingency coming from our mines up north. And, they'll still be working up there. There's, don't get me wrong, there's still going to be, churning out the coal, but, we will have some folks down there, and we'll have a lot of them. And, it's going to be great. And we're just really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. And we got to bring the bronze boot back home. So,
yeah. That was in reading about this game and learning a little more about it. I learned about the bronze boot, which I think is fantastic. So we were talking a little bit, Travis and I were, before the podcast began. And so the two schools are separated by 65 miles on the US 287. And the ROTC will run from whoever won the bronze boot last to the home team, or for that game. They run the bronze boot, relay it to the state line, and then hand it off to the ROTC from the other school, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And then the ROTC from the school that's hosting the game will stand guard over the boot, and then they'll go to work, and they'll they'll have a border war. And what's exciting this year is, as we were talking earlier, Steve, when this gate comes around, you throw the records out the window. At the University of Wyoming, team can go 1 win, 10 losses, but as long as you win that border war, you've had a winning season. So it's a knockdown drag out, and it's always competitive. And to be able to showcase this game on national television and highlight the Wyoming coal industry. We're going to be out there in our black uniforms, and Colorado State, they're the greenies to the south. So there's a little bit of a subtle message there as well that we need our coal, and we're going to keep providing that coal and that energy for a long time to come. And we're going to make sure that Colorado State knows that.
One little fun fact that I found when I was doing my research, the bronze boot, and Travis, you probably know this, but there was a Captain Dan Romero, who was the Army ROTC instructor at CSU from 1967 to 1969. And he actually wore that boot in Vietnam. And that is what they bronzed. So, yeah, so I love that. But anyway, so we're in the coal industry. We know how much pride there is in our industry, and we've been beat down for a lot of years, obviously. And so I think it's what you guys are doing with this is fantastic. I love it. A chance to celebrate, and the industry that's given people energy security and jobs and everything for so many years. And many generations. So I love it. But let's talk about the bigger picture a little bit. This year has obviously been a bit of a turning point for the coal industry. I mean, Christian, you and I were in Washington, D.C. in May. Such a difference a year makes, and the feelings and the coal pride and all that. And that's the article I wrote for the ACC magazine after that trip was "Coal is cool again." So, but let's talk about the administration's support for coal, how that has changed in the last year. And I mean, Travis, why don't you talk a little bit about it from the Wyoming coal side, and then Christian, let's talk about it in general, federally.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. What a difference a year makes. And, what we're seeing in the state of Wyoming now, we had a little bit of a down year in production last year, but what we're seeing right now, today in the fall of 2025, demand is strong. We're moving more coal than we did last year, and we're hiring. You've got companies looking there because they're looking down the line at the projected demand, and we're starting to see those signals from the utilities that we better get start building our stockpiles. And we're hiring coal miners, and that's something great, not only for the industry and not only for America, but for the state of Wyoming, because our state does run on coal, and that not only the revenue that coal generates every year into state coffers, to the tune of over $600 million annually, but the jobs. These are great paying jobs. They're what put food on the table for Wyoming families, pay their bills. Take a vacation, buy the kids some toys at Christmas, and that's as important as the state revenue. Is jobs for Wyoming families. And, we're seeing those tick up. It's a really optimistic time to be in the industry. And, and this administration is serious. It's a serious shift in our energy policy from the last, decade and a half, to an all that works strategy rather than the poppycock of an all of the above strategy. And, what works is coal. And we're starting to recognize that right now. And it's really nice to have your government working with you instead of against you. And, there's just, again, a lot of optimism in the industry right now, and the future's bright.
Yeah, Travis, you hit on so many important things. As a coal company that operates in Wyoming, we couldn't be more excited for what the future looks like in Gillette and across the state and across the nation for the coal industry. Steve, you brought up we were together in May in Washington doing meetings, and the incredible optimisms felt all across the government, across the industry. And earlier this month, even late September, early October, there was another coal day, right? The president and his cabinet announced a whole new slate of pro coal regulations and what the government's trying to do to make sure that we have energy dominance in this country and keep the lights on with growing energy demands from AI, data centers, and just having more people using more electricity. So, opening up to, Wyoming coal for leasing. We have an administration that wants to keep coal plants open and wants to lease more coal. And as the Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, said at that event late September, he said, "We're going to mine, baby, mine." And that's just such an exciting thing. And to tie it all back to the coal game and how exciting this weekend's going to be, it's like you have all this optimism coming from the government on things that have been really sad, right? Like talking to our folks at our team, we always have believed in this industry, but it was hard to get other people to believe in it or to understand. Now we're taking a major college football rivalry, the oldest in the West, as we talked about, and you're going to have all black uniforms, coal rush game. And there's several surprises that I know Travis and I are very excited that are going to come off on Saturday at War Memorial Stadium that, make sure you tune in because we can't talk about them here, but it's going to be really cool in honoring the coal industry. And it's going to be an exciting day, and it's making the coal industry mainstream, and it's going to make people look in to be like, wow, coal is a big deal in this country. It is a big deal for the state of Wyoming. Much like the game last year, and credit to WVU for what they did in starting this as well, and what WVU brought to a national audience as well last year in their game. And we just have to keep doing that because we are so vital. You don't just flip the lights on in any state in this country and the electric comes on. It's probably coming from a coal mine somewhere near Gillette, Wyoming, or Boone County, West Virginia, or Eastern Ohio or Pennsylvania. Someplace there's someone working to keep those lights on. And I think games like this make us mainstream, pairing with what the administration and our pro-coal members of Congress are doing. It is an exciting year in 2025, and to have this football game be a part of that, I know Travis and I are ecstatic about it, and it's just going to be really exciting.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Very well said. And obviously it's not just about energy too. I mean, coal it's about industry. I mean, coal, power, steel, cement, infrastructure, everything we use every day, it's irreplaceable. So but very well said. No, it's exciting. Now I'm definitely going to have to put it on my calendar. So, but let's talk about legacy. I mean, coal has been beat down so much for so many years, but from this Cowboys and Coal game, what do you hope the next generation takes away from this? Where do you see it going from here? Is this going to be an ongoing thing? Where do we go?
Well, we are hoping to make it an ongoing thing, and I think you hit on a great point, Steve. Is that the University of Wyoming is a university, and we have a great student section at our football games, and it's a great educational opportunity to let those young people know that again, why we're here as a state and what built this state, and hopefully build an appreciation of an industry that's given so much to this state and to the university and to all of our schools across Wyoming. Coal money has built new schools in Wyoming for the past 3 decades, and we have some of the best school facilities in the country, largely because of the coal industry. So yeah, it is something that we're hoping to use as an educational opportunity too for those young men and women that are packing the books at the University of Wyoming every day and getting that good quality education. This is game one of a two parter. So this is our inaugural game. We're going to do it again next year, and then hopefully keep building on it. And, we'd like to make it some sort of a tradition. And it doesn't always have to be the border war. I mean, we're doing it. We're pulling out all the stops with the border war this year. But we're hoping to make it a tradition going forward. And Cowboys and Coal. We are one Wyoming. We have one university. We have one coal industry, and we support each other, and we want to keep it going.
Yeah, and to Travis's point, we would love to keep this going, and I have a vision, if we have athletic departments from Morgantown and Laramie listening, I would love to see someday as we schedule football games in the future a WVU versus University of Wyoming full coal game.
I like
those
it.
Those of you that remember, there used to be the Friends of Coal Bowl in West Virginia, where it was the Marshall University versus WVU. That unfortunately it doesn't happen anymore. But how great would it be to have a Wyoming versus West Virginia non-conference conference game at some point. So it's a vision that I have, and I try to put it out in the universe and hope that athletic departments at both places sometimes talk and see how amazing that could be, not just for our industry and the people that go into the mines to keep the lights on every day, but for both schools too. I think it would be really an exciting home and home situation, both in Morgantown and in Laramie. But yeah, it's such a great game to have, and talking about what it looks like. We do want to keep this going because it is just so important. And the University of Wyoming, it's obviously what I've realized being a part of the Wyoming community for several years now, coming from Ohio. We have several public universities in my state, right? Folks like me, I went to Kent State University, which is a public school. My wife went to Ohio State, University of Cincinnati. We have that. University of Wyoming, it doesn't matter what corner of the state you go, you're a Wyoming Cowboys fan. And I think that's a really cool, unique thing for the state of Wyoming. But that student section that Travis referenced and all those students that go to that game, they're not all from Wyoming, right? And if they are from Wyoming, they might come from areas that don't have coal mining. So they're being that first generation that might be learning how important coal is to the state of Wyoming. Or I'm sure there's a lot of folks from California and Oregon and Washington that aren't from coal communities and maybe even come from communities that don't think highly of our industry, but they go to the University of Wyoming, they go to Laramie, and they meet, maybe coal miners' children from Gillette, and then they go to the coal rush game and they're like, this industry created a whole state and it's such an important economic driver, and goes back to their homes and talks about how important it is and the education they got at the University of Wyoming. So that student section is going to be vital, and it goes towards how important this game is to teaching folks about that. So it's just going to be a great time. And I think, obviously the football game's the main event, but I think the educational part is certainly a 1B part of how great this is to have this happening.
That's a great point. Something I really hadn't thought about in conjunction with this game is, we talk, like when we're in DC, we talk about, the lack of mining engineers that we're putting out in this country, not only for coal, but for all mining industries that, everything comes back to mining. And we talk about the lack of mining engineers. So the reach down into the college level, I love that. And like you mentioned, Christian, the people coming in from out of state that maybe didn't grow up in a coal community that's fantastic as well.
Well, and Steve, coal, you brought it up earlier. Coal is cool, right? I love it. I love saying we are cool right now. Look, the administration's had 2 coal days. I was like, well, University of Wyoming and West Virginia have done coal football games. I don't think there's any windmill games coming up soon, so I'm excited that coal's the game that they're picking. We are cool, so that's something hopefully to take away.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
We're back. Oh, we never went anywhere, Steve. We're just telling everybody we're back.
Yeah. So let's hear final thoughts here. Predictions on the game, Christian.
Oh, you're gonna make me go first.
Yeah.
Look, no, hey, I'm excited. Look, Colorado State. They've had a tough year, right? Their offense isn't scoring a lot of points. They're struggling. University of Wyoming's got a powerhouse defense, which I'm sure Travis, as an old school Cowboys fan, really appreciates that grit and toughness of that defense. I've watched them play. I've adopted the University of Wyoming fandom a bit, so I've been watching all their games. I think it's going to be a close game. Travis brought it up earlier. It's a rivalry game. These things always happen. They're always probably close. But at the end of the day, are you kidding me? I'm always picking University of Wyoming. The Cowboys get it done. My score prediction this weekend, 21-17, Wyoming wins. Exciting game. They bring it home for the coal miners at War Memorial and beat the Rams and take that boot back. Travis,
right,
I know you're not disagreeing.
I've got it written down, Christian. Travis, how about you?
21-17.
Yeah. Travis?
Cowboys by 100. Go Pokes, go Coal.
Cowboys by 100. I love it, Travis. I love it.
It's going to be an offensive blow up. So that's great. Well, this is going to be a great celebration of the industry, and can't wait to see the game. And who knows, I might just show up at the tailgate party. So, any final thoughts before we sign off, guys?
Well, Steve, thanks for hosting. It's again, I'm sounding like a broken record. It's going to be a great weekend, and the opportunity to celebrate the Wyoming Cowboys and a big win over Colorado State in the border war, and our fantastic coal miners in our industry. it's going to be great, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, my final thoughts on this is the number one people I want to thank is I want to thank America's coal miners, especially Wyoming coal miners, what they do every single day, providing American energy. Of course, like our company has, as you mentioned, metallurgical coal in West Virginia as well that does steel and creates the infrastructure to build our nation and build nations globally. So thanks to all of them that do this every day. This game's for them, right? Like that's my biggest takeaway on this is how exciting it is to honor those folks when so many people, especially over the last 5 years, have so pushed them down and said that they don't matter to the American experience. And to have a day where you have a national TV game where your favorite football team, especially if you're from Wyoming, much like our West Virginia folks last year, your favorite football team is literally playing a game for you. I mean, that is just, you can't underestimate how amazing that is for the morale of the industry. I also want to thank the University of Wyoming. None of this happens without them believing in it and buying into it. So thanks to everybody at the University of Wyoming for doing this. They weren't just, and Travis would agree with this, they weren't just approaching us about us. They were true partners. They wanted to do this, I think, as bad as we in the industry and the Wyoming Mining Association wanted to do this. So it's incredibly exciting that they were so all in for it, as well as Governor Gordon and his entire team, and how much they want to see this happen and how proud the governor is to be governor of the largest energy state in the country. So, I mean, just really, really great stuff. And I continue to say thank yous to all the companies that are sponsoring and making this happen, to all the folks coming down for the game. It is going to be a really fun weekend. I know I'm really excited to get on the plane and fly out to Laramie and to see this game. And hopefully, they're not going to win by 100, I'll predict, as Travis said earlier. But I do think the University of Wyoming is going to win this game. And it's, they're going to bring it home. And hopefully the student sections have an amazing time celebrating this rivalry victory. And Steve, we hope you make it down this weekend as well. And we'll make sure we have a couple frosty adult beverages for you there to prepare for the game.
Sounds good. Well, Travis, I did want to say thank you from the coal industry as well for all the work you did in pulling this together. I mean, that's a wonderful project, and all the work you did in pulling it together. So, thanks for that from the coal industry.
Well, I appreciate that, Steve. I've got one of the best jobs in the world, and to be able to work on projects like this, for my membership and for my miners, it's a privilege. And again, I'm just really, really excited for this weekend, and go Pokes and go Coal.
Absolutely. Well, to everyone listening, whether you're tailgating in Laramie or cheering from a mine site, this weekend is about pride, power, and the people who make it all possible. Go Pokes, and let's have a win this weekend.
Thanks, Steve.
What a powerful and fun conversation. The Cowboys and Coal game isn't just about one of the longest running rivalries in college football history. It's about celebrating the men and women who support our economy, build our communities, and keep the lights on. I want to thank my guests, Travis Deti and Christian Palich, for sharing their passion and leadership and for all they've done to make this tribute possible. And to every coal miner listening, whether you're in the Powder River Basin, Appalachia, or any other coal field, this game is for you. I'm Steve Reed, and this has been Coal Nation. Until next time, go Pokes and go Coal.
Thank you for tuning in to Coal Nation, the official podcast of the American Coal Council. Our mission is to share coal's story and showcase its critical role in powering our economy and supporting our way of life. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe. The American Coal Council represents members across the entire coal supply chain and advocates tirelessly for our vital industry. There is strength in numbers, and we'd love for you to be part of the conversation. By joining ACC, you gain exclusive access to the latest industry developments, a voice in our work that can benefit your business, and incredible networking opportunities. To learn more, visit www.americancoalcouncil.org. Together, we are shaping the future of coal, and it's exciting. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.